Thank you for joining us here for the State of the City. I would like to thank all of those who had helped introduce it and our sponsors who make it possible to bring this to you. And I would like to take a moment and also thank my family for being here. And yes, usually this is the time I get emotional, but I will say that I am very privileged that I have a supportive family. They certainly have to put up with a lot, having a mom as mayor or a wife as mayor, and I have two daughters who are sitting in the Netherlands right now watching this be streamed live. So, my mate of 25 years, I appreciate all you do. So, the State of the City is certainly that opportunity to shine a spotlight on the accomplishments of the past year and discuss how we're addressing community challenges. 2012 was a time like no other. Once-in-a-lifetime events. We had progress in all 5 strategic priorities that we rolled out last year, and we have exciting news for 2013. Indeed, it will continue to be a time of promise for Meridian. I will share with you over the next 45 minutes examples of what we did in 2012 and the year ahead. I will discuss the 5 priority areas of safety, responsive government, places to go, jobs, and transportation. It is my goal that you walk away with the same confidence that I have, that we are focused on what is important to you, and that we are taking great strides towards our vision of being a premier place to live, work, and raise a family. Now, if accolades are an indicator that 2012 was a time like no other, I would say we had a great year. CNN Money Magazine listed Meridian among the 100 best places to live. America's Promise and ING listed Meridian for the 5th time among the 100 best communities for young people. These designations are not only determined by national data points, but also from citizen feedback indicating they love where they live. And these folks aren't afraid to tell people how much they love Meridian. As reflected in our continued population growth, we grew by 1,800 over the last year, totaling 78,000. New home building permits are up, houses sold faster, and time on the market for home sales reduced from 89 days to an average of 70. And the price that our homes sold for increased by 7.5%. Building permits improved in both number and value. In fact, commercial permit values almost doubled, from $66 million to almost $120 million. Cincy's 5-story new office building and campus complex is an amazing example of what we have going on. We continue to grow to our plan, a sustainable growth, which is necessary for a prosperous community and for adding jobs that support our local economy. We added 1,400 new jobs over the last 2 years. Indeed, the energy is in Meridian. We continue a long-standing tradition by past and current city councils, mayors, and city staff for having a budget in the black and saving for projects we need, and only then building them with cash saved. Our city council, senior leadership team, and finance department are good stewards of your money. Keeping your trust is important and critical. Another important indicator of a great year is citizen engagement. This was a time like no other. Our citizens are amazing in their giving, their volunteering of time, and their participation in community events and meetings like our prescription town hall meeting at Wahoo's. 2012 was a good year, a great year. Let's hear directly from our senior leadership team on what they felt their noteworthy accomplishments were.
If I had to pick one highlight of the year, it was definitely the grand opening of Julius M. Kleiner Memorial Park. That whole day was filled with activities and events and celebrations.
This year we added a new service to our City Hall, and that is we are actually a passport acceptance facility. So we accept passport applications and their supporting documentation on behalf of the United States Department of State. So far it's been very much welcomed by our citizens.
We've also expanded our youth work-life skills program. A lot of the kids that we hired last year had never worked anywhere else. This was their first job. And so this was an opportunity for them to build a resume, build up a job experience, interviewing, preparing for jobs, coming to work every day.
The Treasure Valley has been called the most improved housing market in the United States. But if you look at the cities and the counties within the Treasure Valley, Meridian is by far the most active in terms of new rooftops.
Our wastewater collection system folks have sealed up about 33 manholes and saved the treatment plant from having 100,000 gallons of groundwater enter the sewer system. And that has saved us about $27,000 a year.
We did not increase our base budget this past year. I think the departments were really willing to say, okay, for the long-term betterment of the city, we need to not grow our base budget. And by base budget, I mean those annual operating expenses that are not going to change no matter what the level of activity is.
That really kind of takes us down to our prescription take-back program. We were probably the first law enforcement agency in the Treasure Valley to start this several years ago to keep them out of the hands of abusers, whether they're kids or adults. And I'm happy to report that we've taken nearly 3 tons of prescription medications off the streets here in Meridian.
We put together Project Safe, smoke alarms for everyone, because we know going in and trying to do a search for somebody in a very smoke-filled or high-heat environment is one of the most dangerous things we can do. So if we can eliminate that and get the folks out early, that's keeping us safe, and it's keeping you safe, and it's keeping our community safe.
Piedmont Creek Pathway from Pine to Badley, we had a grand opening for that this fall. It's now open to the public, about a half mile long, a great new section of pathway.
We're all lending a helping hand. It's just that now it's being done in a more integrated way. Now someone comes in and we're viewing it from the customer's perspective, not from ours. It's no longer a situation where, oh, you've got to fill out this application and planning, and this one in building, or talk to the economic development person. We approach each customer with a focus on their project and on their needs.
I am honored to work with this team, and not only that, I get to highlight their accomplishments today. Last year, I laid out the priorities for the next 4 years based on feedback we heard from you. These 5 areas are developed from listening to our community, are what defines us, and it's necessary to being a premier place to live, work, and play. We are focused on our vision. We have made great progress in 5 strategic priorities. Indeed, 2012 was a time like no other. I will talk about each of these 5 priorities, and the first is safe communities. We continue our focus as one of the safest cities in Idaho. We saw system improvements in almost every department, as you can see. Police response times improved in every category. Better staffing coverage and crime tracking certainly contributed to this. We did see a slight uptick in our fire department responses, And by coincidence, it's the same uptick we had in the number of calls. Of course, we will be focused on turning that around. There are several areas I do want to spend a few minutes on. The first of that is by our impact team. This impact team was established through a federal grant. And their goal is to drill down into the root cause of our crime and increase the livability in our neighborhoods. Certainly over the last year, we've seen tremendous success. They have served 38 search warrants, made over 300 arrests, recovered over $83,000 in stolen property, and seized $273,000 in drugs. As a result, we have seen decreases in crimes against society and drug offenses as well. They have also improved the communications between residents and our businesses. And through crime prevention, they're reducing the crimes of opportunity, and these problems are moving out of our neighborhoods. Safe drinking water is paramount to a safe community. And the next area I would like to focus. During the split corridor phase 2, we discovered a wooden pipe that you see here on the screen. We also unearthed the history behind that. Our first potable water system was established in 1909, and it was due to typhoid fever. Our village council at the time decided to pass a bond in December of 1909, which started our first potable water system. Ironically, they also built a water tower, and that company that built that water tower was the company that 64 years later built our city icon that we have today. Our Public Works continues to carry on their efforts, although we do pay cash. Last year, we installed over 6.6 miles of pipeway that create a pipeline of 462 miles of water system delivery. The next area is in sidewalks and lighting. We had 8 projects, but I do want to highlight one particular one and give a special thanks to Ada County Highway District. This was on Central Drive, and we had kids that tend to walk in that area with learning disabilities. This improvement was initiated by that group. One of the students almost fell into the lane of traffic. And so they brought some letters up to my office, which in turn we turned over to Ada County Highway District mid-September. By the end of October, that improvement was done. That shows you that your voice counts. Every voice counts. One of the lighting installation projects we had was there along Meridian High School, where kids walk to and from school. This increased the safety in that area. We also have not lost our focus on the Rail with Trail program. And we continue our efforts with YMCA to keep safe routes to school a priority, and we will be working with them to know where the improvements are needed in 2012. I will also highlight that not only safety on these trails and roadways, we made improvements through our police department and the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council and worked with the state legislature. And last year, the legislature did pass a texting while driving law. And I think it's worthy of giving applause on that one. Last fall, we worked with the Idaho State Police on community outreach. Here's an example of what we did. That was a fun one. Our next area is responsive government. Communication is important, and we had a communication citizen group that really focused on this and gave us a number of recommendations on what we could do to improve our communication with you. One of those we've already initiated in our City Hall. Barb Hatch in our police department organizes citizen volunteers that staff this front kiosk, and I know that we have a group of those volunteers here. They're citizens just like you that are going to welcome you when you come into the doors of City Hall and answer your questions and help you find your way to where you're trying to go. We've also updated our website and search engine, making it easier to find information and your e-government so you can find lines or forms online and do your business from the comfort of your home. eSide is an example of what our IT department and police department are doing and working together. Nobody enjoys getting pulled over. Most are in a hurry. Now we can get you on your way. Sergeant Gonzalez, he was awarded an Idaho Transportation Department grant for e-ticketing. Certainly our IT department wrote the software and the grant bought the hardware for our police cars. eSight allows officers to scan the driver's license, saving time on the roadside, so then our police officers and drivers can get on their way. It saves time by everyone in our police department who ever touched a piece of paper recorded or related to this. Through these efficiencies, we eliminated the need to hire additional personnel, and we no longer have a backlog of data entry. Our budget. Our city council is very conservative on our budget and conservative on the outlook. They also keep an eye to potential threats. Uncertainties right now in legislative changes and costs that are sometimes pushed down to the local level by other agencies are some of those threats. Those include the personal property tax, county courthouse, and perhaps dispatch fees. If all of these went into effect, legislation was passed, the court decides we owe, and we need to pay dispatch fees, that could mean $2.2 million to our annual budget. Now that means, and this is not to get overly dramatic, but we also have to consider what $2.2 million annually to our base budget will mean. That could mean 25 police officers. That's the total budget for our criminal investigation department. It's also the equivalent of 2 fire substations, or our parks maintenance department. Those are the kind of topics and issues that our city council tackle on an annual basis. We had another citizen group that looked at city services, like I just mentioned, all of our services, police, fire, and parks, but they also looked at representation. Just like our city to the west, we're looking at expanding and asking our citizens if they want to expand that representation from city council seats from 4 to 6. And I told our city council, don't worry about those empty boxes at this point. We will be seeking public comment on February 19th. If we do move forward with this, there would be a vote of the public in May, and if approved by the citizens that they would like to see 6 city council seats, those elections will be held in November. The last area in responsive government that I want to cover is in the Meridian Way. Customer service certainly defines the perception of the quality of service that the city provides. And city employees recognize that it's more than just answering a question. Attitude is just as important as a timely answer. What sets us apart is an attitude of genuine care and engagement. That is the culture that we aspire, and we are seeing some great examples of that. Mikey Losh in our water department went out on a service call. He helped the clients or the customer find the water leak, and then he came back during his lunch and he helped put a pump in their water meter that had flooded. They define his customer service as outstanding. We also look at outcomes. In our utility billing department, you can imagine on cutoff day, the opportunity to get customer comments is great. It used to be in the past where we had more negative comments than positive. Now we're not only getting more comments, we're getting more positive versus negative. We'd like to see that the Meridian Way transcends over our entire community. An example of this is a recent Facebook post that we did. Shelley Houston in my office talked to the woman who told her about a carload of boys. This carload of boys came upon this woman who was shoveling her neighbor's drive. After she finished that, she was going to do her own. The boys got out of the car and asked her if they could help. They not only finished that driveway, they shoveled hers, and then the rest of the block. We need to hear more about good news like that. That post got over 10,000 likes and 800 shares. People want to hear good news. I have the fortune of seeing the good in the youth in my work with the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council. And at this time, I'd like our youth to please stand up to be recognized. Now we'll show you what they've been up to.
I got involved in MIAC for the leadership opportunities.
I was looking for something to do in my free time. I wanted to get involved in local youth government.
It actually sounded really interesting, so
I jumped in with both feet.
It's really a fun opportunity to be involved in.
And the members of the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council are involved. This school year, they've donated more than 500 hours of community service, from raking up leaves to convincing their peers to stop texting while driving.
If we as a community pledge to stop texting while driving, we'll protect everyone.
A few MIAC members even went to DC to learn how to make the roads safer for everyone.
We just learned how to really influence our peers and to prevent texting while driving.
Those lessons will be shared in a few months when MIAC hosts the Treasure Valley Youth Summit. MIAC is also trying to stop teens from smoking. They won a $1,000 grant from the American Lung Association. Some members of MIAC even went to talk with lawmakers about this very important issue.
What we're doing is asking them to allocate more funds instead of putting them into getting people to quit, helping them quit, into prevention in the first place, because it's a lot easier to not start smoking at all than it is to quit.
And a few weeks later, lawmakers came to Meridian to have breakfast with MIAC and hear what they had to say about Idaho's suicide prevention hotline.
We asked them to fund the Idaho suicide hotline beyond 2 years.
Maintaining the funding for the suicide hotline is important to me because I lost a friend to suicide last year, and I strongly believe that this hotline can prevent this from happening.
MIAC also likes to have a good time. That's why they plan fun events for teens. This month, they'll host Ignite Youth, a chance for teens to make a presentation about whatever they want.
I mean, it's kind of 5 minutes, that's all yours, you get the stage.
And in May, MIAC will host a prom for parents.
That'll hopefully be a really big event. It'll be really cool for the parents to do that again.
Their prom will be a fundraiser for Ben's Bells, a nonprofit group that focuses on spreading kindness throughout the country.
One small act of kindness can either make or break somebody's day.
Ben's Bells makes wind chimes and hangs them in random places with a note reminding people someone cares. MIAC has started making bells. In December, they even sent some to Newtown, Connecticut.
And then we sent them off to Connecticut for the families that lost their children in the Connecticut shooting.
If you want to help MIAC spread kindness, come to Prom for Parents this May.
done a lot, and I think that we're going to do a lot of great things in the future. So.
Our future is certainly in good hands, and I would invite you to Prom for Parents. I am actually looking really forward to it, so please join us there. That falls into places to go, not only Prom for Parents, but certainly the opening of some of our areas to go is truly fun, but I would say in places to go, I'll highlight our parks first. And truly there is a time like no other in this category. The opening of the Julius M. Kleiner Park is second to none. It's not just the $25 million gift that we celebrate. It's the park itself. The park brought in amenities new to our park system. It brought a new senior center and the Rock of Honor that is now fully paid for. They wrote off the debt, and we owe a lot to Gene Kleiner and the heart he has for not only that park, but this community. This park opened to great fanfare, and appreciation was shown across our community. We held events like, well, we didn't, but Rib Fest, which is a two-day event that estimate over 25,000 people attended. This park has been discovered. From the first event, Luke and Adrian Kavaner's wedding, where they ran up the hill, to this winter where we had snow and we saw masses of kids sliding down the hill. This park creates magic, and it will create memories for decades to come. Next, we're looking forward to Aldapi Park, another unique park donation of over 50 acres. In October, we held a groundbreaking ceremony to celebrate the construction of a 6-acre pond on the site, which is now complete. And that's just one of the amenities that we anticipate in this park. Planning is yet to begin, but it will be a nature park, another one of its kind to the Meridian Park system. Next in places to go is in our lifestyle. We just keep getting more choices in entertainment, in restaurants, and shopping, and businesses. Look at the list of those businesses just opened. Those opened in just 2012. Everything you need right here at home. Now, let me take a moment and talk to you about what we're looking forward to in 2013. You've seen the first phase of the Village at Meridian, which is more of a power center. Phase 2 will be the Lifestyle Center, which will be an outdoor mall. Watch this ad, you'll see why I'm so excited.
Let the music's playing like sparkling wine, go out and have your fun.
Something new and something really unique with a family-friendly environment we think no one else will be able to match.
Wait till your times are right, but these eyes to surround. That carefully made, and baby, you're gonna fly.
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. In fact, that was in Farmington, Utah, and we will have 20 more of those nozzle water fountain things that will just put that to shame. So we're very excited about that. They're also giving you a sneak peek of some of the stores and restaurants that you can look forward to. And they'll be making announcements as they roll them out, and they expect to open in the fall. And we're seeing a lot of this because of this lifestyle center is going to be one of its kind, over 500,000 square feet of entertainment, shopping, and restaurants. Because of the success of one of our well-known restaurants, Gino's, in Northwest Meridian, we have caught the attention of restaurants from casual dining to the higher-end dining, and the list of choices are only going to get better, which is a great segue into our downtown as a place to go, the place of center. That list is growing in our downtown, from the announcement of Valley favorite Flying Pie Pizzeria on the south end of our main street to proven Meridian favorite Cahoots on the north side. Downtown is a growing culinary experience. We see others expanding, like Pie Hole. They are going to expand to 1,600 square feet in our downtown with rooftop dining. We've added office. The Compass VRT building has opened with 16,000 square feet of office. And now you need a way to find it. This year, we're adding wayfinding signs through the Urban Renewal District, our MDC, and also a kiosk, so you can see where all of our businesses in our downtown are. Epic Sodas on 2nd Street kicked off MDC's facade improvement program. And right next door to Epic Sodas is the McFadden Marketplace. We've identified who the owner is, and it's now on the market. The bank building has been vacant since the 1940s, and the market since the 1990s. We want to find a person who's going to love this building, and we hope restore it. Right now, it's in bad shape, and it's ready to fall down. That's why it's boarded up and condemned. So we're hoping that someone steps forward soon so we can keep it in our downtown. There are also great events in our downtown. Public Works Week is one of those, and they're slated again for the first week in June. This is a great opportunity to see what our Public Works Department is all about, and they take great pride in showing you. We also have concerts on Broadway. Initial Point Gallery in City Hall rotates art exhibits once a month. And Meridian Business Day is an annual favorite. And coming soon, we heard you. When the Winterland Parade was canceled, we had a lot of community members that expressed dismay. Well, it's going to come back bigger and better with the Nightlight Christmas Parade. So stay tuned, we hope you get involved. Area 4 is jobs. We saw increases in healthcare, finance and insurance, certainly retail and food services, higher than the rest of the valley. There was a reduction in real estate and government jobs. But what we're really excited about is the rise in manufacturing jobs. They increased by 6%, and this growth in manufacturing is a lot stronger than the rest of the state. Now, this was certainly exciting news to our business attraction group that is focused on replacing aging companies with startups, many of those in manufacturing. Citizen member Rick Ritter tells us that over 70% of the net new jobs are created by firms that are 5 years or younger. The core and industry cluster in our health sciences industry is growing their membership and their level of participation. They established the Treasure Valley Angel Fund and have already made their first investment. They're focused right now on the Keystone Project, a project that promotes the commercialization of research and technology from the university and the private sector to create a med-tech economy in Idaho. Their most recent focus is on an A&P lab to bring to the Meridian Idaho State University campus. There's a new ambulatory service center at St. Luke's that is going up. It's 30,000 square feet and it will have 2 surgical suites with the capacity of 6. Now, we want to build on the success of the core, on focusing on industry clusters. We're looking at the Fields District, Idaho's core competency, which is in ag sciences, and building upon that core competency. We're also looking at the Public Safety District, which is focused on training law enforcement and first responders and supporting growing and related industry that draws people and investment into our community. Strategic Priority Area 5, Transportation. Now, I have been known to kind of beat the drum on transportation, and certainly on interchanges. And I am very happy to tell you that Meridian Interchange is not only on the books, it's funded, and it is already gaining great momentum. They have a design firm already established, and this is probably the look of the design as a spoolie that you're going to see. We're also looking at the aesthetic design of the safety railing and how we want the gateway into our community to look. This is an economic opportunity for our community, and we want to make sure that we do it right. We do have a task force that has been looking at this and seeking feedback. So please share your voice on this. The Idaho Transportation Department will also be meeting with the north and south side businesses and property owners to keep them informed and to give them a voice as well. Early this summer, we'll have an open house to review final designs and detail the next steps moving forward. Also currently underway, if you drive in Meridian at all, you've already seen that the split corridor, Phase 2, is under construction. They have closed Meridian Road between Cherry Lane and Pine, and by the way, the businesses along that road are still open for business. We got a Facebook post that asked us, why is this improvement necessary? Well, it is necessary for a number of reasons. First, because we want you to spend more time at home than on the roads. There's a number of safety issues and congestion that it will relieve. This is a great improvement to that part of our town. And it will also be part of that aesthetic thing, where you can see kind of our rendering of what it will look like when it's improved. It has safety lighting, and the MDC and the city partnered up to put the historic lighting that will denote where our downtown core is and that you're entering somewhere special. Part of this is my last area of transportation, and it's our downtown streetscape. Transportation includes creating an environment that we want people to go. Streets are one of the biggest potential assets in our downtown, but many of them are substandard, and improvements are varying from block to block. So our city staff, MDC and the Chamber, and business stakeholders are working together to identify cross-sections and where those improvements need to be made. They're going to be looking at bicycle and pedestrian safety and how they circulate in our downtown. They will explore parking alternatives for providing business with more street presence, and placemaking on being more accessible to those businesses with outdoor dining opportunities, and for our citizens, creating a walkable and safe environment. Meridian has experienced significant progress in all 5 of these areas. Indeed, 2012 has been a time like no other. I shared our actions, challenges, and successes in our strategic priority areas. We have momentum and energy towards being that premier place to live, work, and raise a family. Let me recap the highlights. We are focused on response times, an emergency because we know that every second counts. Our impact team is drilling into the root of crime and working with our citizens to rid our neighborhoods of the root cause. We are continuing improving our communication outreach to keep you informed and to provide opportunities to have a voice in your future. We maintain our focus on stretching every dollar while evaluating threats to the service you expect and to the budget bottom line. The opportunities to enjoy Kleiner Park, to shop, dine, and for entertainment at the Village at Meridian will continue to grow and get more exciting every day. And downtown, which is a major priority, is developing as that place to go to for cultural and culinary experiences. The energy is building in our downtown. Our employment picture is getting even better. We are seeing successes in our health science industry cluster, the core, and developing the fields and public safety district concepts with strategic strategies to grow these industries and jobs. Key road projects are underway that will make an enormous difference. We appreciate all of our transportation partners realizing that it's not just about roads, but also at looking at alternative ways to move people. Now, I have shared what we collectively are doing to move that needle, to be that premier place. Our youth have shown us as much in their actions. They are not only about talking about the change they wish to see, they are the change, and they are building a legacy. I would like to introduce to you two individuals that have already built their legacy. We had a veteran with a dream, a vision. We had a Boy Scout looking for an Eagle Scout project. Their individual paths crossed. One focused on a memorial for veterans, and the other focused on naming the veterans. The rest is history. Today, we have the Rock of Honor. This is a memorial to the veterans of Meridian that paid the ultimate price of protecting our freedoms. These two individuals, John Burns and John Scottsburg, are our Legacy Award winners. Would you two come now? Invited them to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So, John and John, it is certainly my honor to recognize you with a small token of our appreciation and for setting a legacy that our citizens will enjoy and learn from for decades. John? Now this was their legacy. What will your legacy be? Here are your opportunities, my final remarks and my call to action. In safe community, help us keep Kleiner Park safe and beautiful through our citizen park patrol. Easy for me to say. Or put an end to bullying. Talk to your kids, your neighbors. Don't accept bully behavior. Not in our schools, not in our workforce. Kids are not the only bullies. Responsive government. I ask that you engage. Come to our coffee with the mayor or our town halls. Share your thoughts on wide-ranging topics from controlling prescription drugs to downtown street design or expanding the number of seats on city council. Get involved. Places to go. Come to our downtown. This is the heart of our community. We want you to discover it. If you currently come to our downtown once a month, come 2 times a month. Eat and get your hair cut or attend an event. If it's once a week, go twice a week. Tell a colleague. Bring a friend. In jobs, help us make our efforts better. Get involved in our industry clusters. Share your breakthrough idea. Support education. They are training our workforce that retains and attracts jobs. In transportation, get involved and provide your feedback in the early stages regarding the interchange design. Grab your family and ride the bike lanes, or take a stroll along our pathways and trails, then work with us on the next improvement. This is how you can build your legacy right here in Meridian. 2012 was a time like no other. With great successes and outcomes, this momentum is propelling us to reach new heights and opportunities in 2013. Join us as we turn this promise, this energy, into reality. I look forward to working with you. Thank you. Let's enjoy a taste of Meridian next door. Thank you for coming.